The combine starts tomorrow. What obviously you did do the combine. You actually probably had the opportunity to run the 40. I'm sorry.
I've done 6
Oh,
combines.
6 combines. Okay.
Yeah.
So 6
6
combines.
pro days.
6 pro
They're
days.
called pro days.
So what is it like attending the combine and putting your body through and playing in front of all these coaches, all these GMs, all these owners? What is it like doing that and trying to play at the best level, doing running your best time, lifting and jumping the highest that you can? What is it like doing the combine and putting yourself through that opportunity?
Oh, well, my first one, you're just nervous as heck. No matter what you do or say, there's just so much pressure on you. All eyes are on you. Every step is, life and death is what it feels like. And it's absolutely critical that you perform and perform at the highest level you possibly can, because it's how you're evaluated, and it's not necessarily how good of a football player you are, because I feel like none of those drills really transition to how good of a football player you are. To a certain degree, it's the weed out process is what it is. And the scouts get their number and they go to their office and say, okay, well, I did my job. Now I feel like that's it. And I feel a lot of professional football players would also agree with that, but it's just part of the process and what you have to do. But yeah, there's nothing more intimidating than being 40 yards away from 32 NFL teams. You're in your underwear and you're trying to run as fast as you possibly can. And there's a number you got to hit, and you have no idea what that number is till you look back and you just hope you ran what you needed.
Ryan, you don't have to worry about that because Speedy doesn't wear any underwear, so that would be funny by
He's
itself.
lying. Don't listen to him. Don't let him steer you the wrong way.
Jeez, Speedy.
So my last question is, from a player's perspective of the combine, players that you've talked to, you mentioned you were at 6 different pro days, and from your perspective, because we hear NFL analysts all the time say, oh, this guy hurt his stock by struggling at the combine, or this guy raised his stock, but then there could also be the other way around. John Ross ran the highest record 40 dash, and then he's turned into nothing, got drafted in the first round. Meanwhile, Orlando Brown, everyone's slamming his combine, falls to the third round when he was a first-round prospect, and now is a nice player, a great tackle in the league. So do players really care as much as they think? Is it a mixed bag? What is the interpretation of that from what you've heard and also your time as a player?
Yeah, there's definitely mixed batches of stories. There's certain things that can get you noticed immediately. And it can show your character very quickly by, hey, man, you had 3 months, 2.5 months to prepare for this. You weren't sleeping and breathing the combine and trying to perform your absolute best. From future person trying to hire you to be a football player for them, if you're not putting in that 2.5 months of absolute grind, then it's going to show your character and their long-term investment, if it's going to pay off for them or not.
Well, we kept you on for a very long time, but we're very happy for you joining us. Tell the fans how they can find you on social media, and how Speedy told me you were promoting a video that you were posting up on your Twitter. Tell the fans how they can find it so they can check out what you're doing right now on and off the field.
Sure. Hop on YouTube, type in Ryan Mueller football, and pretty much all my highlights pop up there. If you would like to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, feel free. It's at @R_Mueller44.
Okay, man. We definitely want to get you on again. You have a really good personality, and don't let him fool you over there. He really doesn't wear any underwear. Okay.
Don't listen to any of his underwear nonsense.
He doesn't wear any underwear.
I'm glad Speedy's remained seated the entire show.
He did.
And I will remain seated the entire show. Do not let him manipulate you over there.
Hate for Speedy to steal the show,
Yeah, he steals the show. And just make sure he sits down, because I don't want to see anything behind there.
Don't worry. At least it wasn't as much as it used to be. He used to ask every guest guests we had on, if they were like a lot of the recruits that we had on, college recruits, he would used to ask them all the time underwear-related questions. So at least he's limited it down since then.
I have limited myself, but it is true. He doesn't wear any underwear, and that's true. I mean, he's admitted it on this show that he doesn't. Now he's denying.
Again, don't let him manipulate you on that. I was in pajamas because I was at my house.
See
for
what
the
now
holidays.
an excuse.
It was not an excuse. I couldn't get in the shower because of my brothers.
Excuse.
I couldn't get dressed. I didn't do anything like that. So because our show used to be earlier. This was in 2020. So our show used to start at 6. My God.
See, he's trying to make excuse. He's trying to.
So I'm going to put clean clothes on when I'm a stinky mess. Is that what you're telling me?
So you put on your pajamas without
I left them on.
It makes no sense.
I was prepping for the show. We had other guests, and I didn't. My brothers were in the shower. I didn't have time to get in.
There you go. You see that, Ryan? He tried to sweep it under the rug. So there you go. Anyways, Ryan, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Ryan Mueller, ex-NFL, CFL, XFL, NFL, fullback, pass rusher, Ryan Mueller. I will say this, and if anybody hasn't checked out his video, I checked out his video. Speedy was telling me he was promoting a video. It's actually really, really cool. And hopefully he does get a job with the XFL because guys like this, he's 30 years old, trains his butt off. He's trying to keep his foot in the pattern of being an NFL player. Everybody deserves a chance, especially with the hard work and dedication that these guys put themselves through. I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is. I think it's unfair. The way the NFL treats players. They take players, they give them a chance, and you know what? We don't want you anymore, so they throw them out. How many people we've seen this? How many athletes, Speedy, we've interviewed that they were in the NFL for a year, 2 years, and then all of a sudden they toss them to the Wolves? It's not fair. It's hundreds. It's not fair. I understand it's a small league and only 56 players to a team, or what did they add? What is it now?
It's one more, 54. It used to be 53.
54 players to a team. But there's practice, and maybe the NFL does need minor league. So, because the minor leagues can help them eventually move back to the NFL where they can make some massive money. Players like this, you heard him. He's not a football fan, really. He's a fan of the game. He's not a fan of a team or any of that. Those are the players that are dedicated to their sports. So I think players like that deserve an opportunity and have the opportunity to do what they love to do. And I just think it's unfair the way professional sports and the way they just toss players away. It just doesn't make sense. It's not right. It's unfair. And the NBA is doing it right now with the G League. They're finally giving players an opportunity to make money where hopefully in the long run, these G League players get an opportunity to move up into the NBA where they can make $3, $4, $5 million. I think the 14th player on a bench is making like $5 million or something like that. I mean, it's
the average annual value gets rigged by all the bad contracts.
If Ryan was making $5 million a year, you think Ryan would be complaining? Come on, seriously.
Nope.
Not at all.
Don't worry. We'd be more than happy to give you a fifth of Joakim Noah's contract.
Oh, God, give me a break. Joakim Noah, another. And by the way, the Knicks lost again. So all you Knicks fans that thought they were going to win this game, again, they bombed it again. Thank you, Julius Randle, you ball-hogging bricklayer. Seriously, unbelievable.
You guys are ruthless out there.
Oh, God. I sit here every single day trying to pray that this team is actually going to win games when they lose games that you wouldn't expect them to lose, okay? How many teams do you know, Ryan, have 30-point leads going into the second half of a game, and they did it 3 times in 2 weeks, and they gave up the lead and lose by almost 12 points? How many teams do you know do that? Okay, I got one. The New York Knicks, the first team ever to do something like that. Thank you, Tom Thibodeau. Okay, I was the one that loved him when he got the job. So there you go. I throw myself under the bus now, Ryan.
Tough times.
Yeah, it is tough times. Being a New York fan is more than tough times. I mean, the last time we've seen a championship was 2011. Okay. Give me a break. I mean, you call us the godfather of sports. I call us the crap of sports. You want to go somewhere to die? Go to New York.
Now the Nets are about to do their decade ja vu. Let's bring in one big three, screw it up, and then screw it up again a decade later.
Well, they have They have this thing with these GMs. They build a team, they build it around youth, and then all of a sudden they trade away the youth for older players, and they completely bomb. So, hey, the Nets they got Billy King, who's never going to get a never GM job ever again, and it's going to go right there to Sean Marks, who's never going to get a GM job again, because he trades for James Harden and then trades him away for other garbage. So there you go.
Snug says Boston is the new title town. Not recently. Recently, the new title town's in Georgia, and in the Braves.
Snug would like to think that, okay, but because he's from Boston, of course. Boston is the title. I will say this: Boston is a better place of winning than New York. Okay, at least they've won. I mean, we can't win nothing.
From a larger sample standpoint, I think Boston and the Bay Area, San Francisco / Golden State Warriors, Oakland are probably the same when it comes to a
Golden
larger
State
decade.
bought their championships. I mean, let's see.
So have the Red Sox plenty of times, though, too.
Oh, get out of here. Listen, I'm not sticking up for Boston fans, okay? I'm the last person that would do that.
The Celtics traded for their championship.
Okay. Well, hold on one second. Well, Boston, they built around a core, and they brought in Ray Allen. They traded for Ray Allen, and they traded for Kevin Garnett. That trade wasn't fair, okay?
Right.
You know why Kevin McHale did that. He did that to help. He threw Danny Ainge a bone, okay?
Right.
Why doesn't Danny Ainge, well, he's gone. Why didn't Danny Ainge ever throw us a bone as the Knicks, okay? Nobody ever throws us a bone. You know what they throw us? They throw us a bag of crap, okay? If Philadelphia fans eat crap, when we win, we're going to do. I'll tell you this right now: if the Jets ever win a championship, I will do. You name it on any of these feeds. I will do the craziest son of a you know what thing that you've ever seen before that a fan would ever do. If the Jets ever win a championship, I will do something that nobody would expect me to do. Okay? I promise that. So if the Jets ever, Zach Wilson, you hear me? Win me a championship, baby. Anyways.
Ryan, maybe you'll be on the roster. Maybe the Jets will sign you.
Listen, I'll write to him.
I did run into Robert Kraft this weekend.
Well, he's not a Jet. He's not a Jet. He's a Patriot here. So.
Well, we were talking about Boston earlier.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, you could run into Joe Douglas. I mean, if you want to run into him, he is 300 pounds of, man-eating muscle. But I listen, I'll reach out to Joe Douglas. We need a fullback. We need a good fullback. We don't have any of them. Every time we bring in a fullback, they seem to die off, or they die straight 6 games away. It's horrible. The Jets are horrible. Developing players, they're just horrible. So, hopefully this entourage of coaches can change that with Robert Saleh. But only time will tell. But I have a feeling we'll be seeing a new coach in another 4 years. So there you go. I'm only telling the truth. I'm not lying, Ryan. I as a Jet fan, I could only hope that this. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the Jets down every single year until they finally start to win, and then I'll, as soon as they win, then I'll blow themselves up.
What do you think, Ryan for player coach?
Whatever wins, okay? If Ryan can coach, I'll make him my running back coach. I'll bring in all these different coaches, these different ex-players, if they can actually find a way. Listen, what do I have to do to get Bill Belichick to coach my team? How's that sound? I mean, he doesn't want to coach the Jets.
Yeah, I was going to say, he might coach every 30 other NFL teams, but not the Jets.
No, for some reason, he hates the Jets. I mean, maybe it's Woody Johnson. I told you, my owner, his name is Woody Johnson. You know what you do? When you think of the name Woody, what does it think? And then the last name Johnson. I mean, we were talking about underwear. I mean, it's perfect. Woody Johnson. Who names their kid Woody Johnson? The Jets. I mean, seriously, the owner of the Jets, his name is Woody Johnson. Speedy, could you make it any worse than that? I mean, Robert Kraft. That's a cool name. Woody Johnson.
I don't know. We'll have to ask the assemblation of this coaching staff that you have. So we have Ryan in there. We have Christian Okoye, and then we have Christian Okoye's daughter singing the national anthem.
There you go. Christian was really cool.
Very good.
Yeah, he loved us too. But he even threw the Jets a little bit of a bone over there, saying that you're a Jet fan, so I feel bad for you already. So thank you, Christian, for giving us all the compliments that the Jet fans need. Anyways, Ryan, you don't have to listen to this anymore. Thank you for joining the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.